Hi foxes, and welcome back to my channel, or if you are new here and you just found this video, welcome! You have stumbled upon one of my weekly what sold videos. I like to upload these every Monday at 8 a.m. Eastern so that you can start your week off just having something in the background while you work, talking about what sold. So if that sounds interesting to you or you like what sold videos, don't forget to go ahead and subscribe before you leave this video. I would love to have you in our little vintage loving community. This week is actually a double what sold video. So I went on vacation last week, and when I got back I just couldn't manage to do a what sold video. Like, we got back Sunday at 5 o'clock, had to completely clean out the rental car and return it and go pick up our dog, and so there just wasn't any time to do a what sold video, and I knew that that was going to happen. So this is actually going to be a double what sold video. So I'm going to go over the week before we left as well as the week that we were gone and show you all what sold. And as you can probably guess by the title, I am selling on a new platform now. So if you are interested to find out more about that, then stay tuned. So first things first, let's talk about the new platform that I'm selling on. I have been seeing advertisements for this platform all over like Facebook and Instagram, and I could tell that it was a collection of different sellers because the photography style wasn't the same for each of the items that they were showing me, but it was all vintage and it seemed very interesting, and maybe you've seen these ads showing up too, and that marketplace is called Shop Thrilling. So do not go to thrilling.com. It is a porno website, but if you go to Thrilling, you shop Thrilling, then that is the website that I am selling on, and I'm gonna kind of like equate this to the first dibs of like mid-range and lower end vintage. So if you know anything about first dibs, it is really like community renowned sellers selling like high-end designer vintage for crazy amounts of money. Honestly, you can see the same thing listed on Etsy and it'll be 3 times more expensive on First Dibs. So I don't know what kind of commission First Dibs takes, but it is definitely far and away the real sort of situation for a vintage, except that everything is uploaded by the shop or sellers themselves. But you'll see it has like a very curated style. The photos have to look a certain way. They have to be edited a certain way, etc. So this is kind of like that. So I was very intrigued by this, and I went ahead and took a closer look at like what it is to sell on there. And basically, you can upload your items to their website. They have to be edited a certain way. You have to know what you're talking about with the vintage, so you have to date things correctly. And so it's a little bit more, I don't want to say like exclusive, but it's vetted. So when you're buying from them, you kind of get the assurance that you're actually getting something from the right era, and like they'll take care of you and stuff like that. It is a bit of a new platform, so there are some things about it that are a little clunky, I guess, but yeah, I'm really interested to see how it pans out for me and to talk to you guys a little bit more about what it is. So we'll just go ahead and jump into what sold on that platform during the week. So the week before we left for our trip, they were still processing my items. So what they can do is they could take all of my Etsy items and they could basically import them into their database and then edit the photos and list the items for me. And I was like, okay, that sounds amazing. So that whole process took, I'm gonna say, about a week and a half. And then you have to send them some information to set up your shop. And so by the time that I was ready to go on vacation, my shop went live. So the timing was not great, but I did let them know I was going on vacation. I would be shipping everything when I got back. The first thing that I sold, this is so tragic, you guys, the first thing I sold actually sold the same night on Etsy. And I woke up in the morning and I shipped the Etsy order. And then the way that Thrilling works is that everything is processed through their system, and then they generate an email with a shipping label and a packing slip, and they send that to you, and it's not like in real time. So I had shipped this item out and it also sold on Thrilling. So my very first sale, I had to email them and be like, sorry. And they were very understanding. They said, you know, I mean, it happens. And then I sent another option along for the buyer in case they wanted to substitute the item, but they didn't. And then the next day, I had another sale, and it was a really good sale. I was very excited. I had listed these Havana Joe, very like goblin core, like adventure core, chunky heeled leather boots, and they were, I believe, weatherproof. I picked these up at Savers for, I think, $9. And yeah, they had a little bit of verdigris on the grommets where the laces went through, but other than that, they were in really nice shape. Seemed like a really comfortable shoe, really well made. And those sold the next day. So I was able to package those up, but little did I realize, they pick the shipping partner that is best for like the rate that gives the best rate to the buyer. So for this purchase, it went UPS. Not usually a problem. I have a UPS store literally 4 or 5 minutes up the road from me, so it's not a huge deal, though I have to load the kids into the car and take them up there. But they did not open before we left for our trip. So I ended up shipping those out when we got back from our trip, and that went smoothly. It was fine. It was just a drop off at the UPS store, but I was like, this is like not going well for me. I just want to get this to the customer. And then throughout the week, I had a couple of more sales while I was on vacation. So I sold this little unicorn pin was my next sale. That was, I'm gonna have to go through and look at how much these sold for, because unfortunately there's no like database of how much they sell for. In the future, I'll have to keep a little record because they email me a packing slip, but there's no record on the Thrilling site of what my sales have been. So I sold this little pin, and then after that I sold, I think the next thing to sell was this vintage slip, and it was like a magenta half slip from the 70s. So those weren't super high price sales or anything like that, but I was happy to move them, and those both went USPS, so I could just put them out with the regular mail. And then the last thing that sold on Thrilling was this pair of trousers that I had purchased for my Dark Academia collection. And as you watch this video, you know, I had a couple of people ask me, like, are trousers going to be selling? Is this Dark Academia aesthetic going to be selling going into spring? And I have the answer for you now. Yes, it is selling. I have sold, I think, almost every pair of plaid trousers that I have in my inventory. So these sold. They were Liz Claiborne size 14, and those also went USPS, and I was happy to ship those off. Another thing about Thrilling is that they do not have any discounts or sales. So aside from like a 10% off that you can get when you sign up and join, they don't have like sales on their site, and you can't mark your items down unless you change the price manually. So, and then it wouldn't say like this has been marked down or anything, it would just look cheaper to the buyer. So that's interesting, and yeah, I'm excited to see how Thrilling grows as a platform. I was looking at so many different platforms and I almost leapt onto Depop, but it's just that sharing thing, you guys. Like, I don't have time to be sharing and updating listings all of the time. Like Poshmark, I have a service that does that for me, and eBay is listed and forget it, Etsy is listed and forget it, and Thrilling is listed and forget it. And that's honestly a big part of why I picked this platform. So it was different, it was new. I could tell it was vintage, it's woman owned, it is person of color owned, so I'm really excited to sell on there and just sort of like see where that goes. Okay, so now we are moving on to Etsy. I usually start with Etsy, but I wanted to start with Thrilling this time around. So we are doing, for 2 weeks, March 8th to the 21st, I believe. Let's double check that. Yes, so March 8th to the 21st, and on Etsy. So on March 8th, I sold this little Polly Flinders smocked girl's dress. It was like a nautical theme. This is a great little girl's vintage brand. If you come across it, I've never met a Polly Flinders dress that I couldn't sell, even if it was damaged. This one sold for $39.99, and it went all the way to Mexico. Next was a children's book. I've had this listed for a really long time, so I was happy when it sold. It is a 1966 book of fireside children's songs, and I just really liked the illustration in this when I picked it up. I picked it up when I worked at the used bookstore. It sold for $25.99 plus shipping. Here is that blouse that sold on Thrilling and Etsy at the same time. This one sold for $20.99. It was the brand was Phool, P-H-O-O-L, which is a good brand, especially if you can find like 80s or 70s pieces. But this one was like 90s, and it was just like a tie front crop top. It got a lot of attention on every platform that I listed it on, and obviously it sold in 2 places. So look out for this like cropped like tie style. Next up was on, let's see, what day was this? March 12th. And I sold a little cream, they're called like a Callet or a Juliet hat. It's just like this little crown cap that sits back here. And I love these. I like picking them up. I like modeling them. I have quite a few of my own. This one sold for $24.99 plus shipping. And then we are moving on to things that sold while I was gone. So while I was gone on Etsy, I put a 20% off sale on my entire, I'm pretty sure my entire Etsy shop. And I sold quite a few things while I was away. So the first was this large silver mirrored vanity tray. I have sold quite a few of these. They're always very popular, but they give me a lot of anxiety to ship, and I just don't think I'm going to pick any more up because I luckily had a box for this that I had been saving specifically for this item, but there have been many times where the dimensions of the tray are larger than I anticipate, and it's very hard to find a box to ship it in. This one sold for $40.99 minus $8.20 discount, plus $19 in shipping. So they paid a decent amount to ship. It went all the way to California. I'm like crossing my fingers that it arrives safely. It says that it's delivered, but I don't know. It's just, they give me so much. It's just like a giant mirror, you know? So next up was a Laura Ashley maxi skirt. It was size extra small, so it was like very tiny. I think it was 23 or 24 inch waist. And I got a 5-star review on this one. I had it listed for $55.99, and then my discount was $11.20, so still a good amount. I don't remember where I got this, or how much I paid for it. I'm gonna go to Poshmark and see if I can find it. Okay, so next up I sold this quilted cotton jacket. I have actually been selling quite a few of these. I could not move these type of things for the life of me for the longest time. And this year, quilted jackets and just like the remade quilt jackets and just like cotton chore jackets and like cotton puff marshmallow type of jackets, like they're just going crazy. So this one sold for $78.99. I did a bunch of research on this one. It was designed by a fabric maker in Provence, Italy. Is that right? No, France. And they've been like printing fabric the same way for like over 100 years, and so it had some really cool history behind it. That one sold for $78.99 minus $15.80 plus all my Etsy buyers this week paid shipping. Next up was this Susie Perrette dress. I was very happy to move this because I had this for a really, really long time. We are talking about like over 5 years. I bought this to resell. I intended to fix it up. It had a number of issues. Susie Perrette is a great designer, especially like her earlier stuff, and I just never got around to fixing it. So I decided to just list it as it is, and it sold. I mean, you could see my hair was still purple, so that was before I had my second son, so like almost 3 years ago that I listed this after sitting on it for a while. I was happy to move it along, and yeah, the buyer loved it though. She gave it 5 stars and said it was for her, I think, 53rd birthday. So yeah, I think she's gonna look like a bombshell in that one. Next up was sold on March 15th. Was this little girl's dress, and someone actually purchased this as a gift. I have been getting a number of people buying little baby clothes from me on Etsy and sending them as gifts to people, so I think there's some folks having babies right about now because we are at the 1-year mark of being stuck inside, so I think some people are popping them out now. But this sold for $12.99 minus $2.60, and that was just a bins pickup. And next was a little Sonic the Hedgehog graphic tee. I couldn't like fully date this, and I did put that in the listing that I wasn't entirely sure whether it was truly vintage or not, but I thought that it was. This was my son's, and I sold it for $14.99 minus the $3 discount. Now we're on to March 17th. So you can see I sold quite a few things while I was away. I was very happy about it. I kept hearing my little cha-ching while I was on the beach. Love it. This one was a dress that I had listed right before I left. It was a white 1940s 50s dress, and I had actually done some work to it to soak it and brighten it up and mend some popped seams. And so I was very happy to see this sell. I had listed it for $109.99, and then someone bought it with the 20% discount, so that was $22 off, and they paid shipping. And let's see, next was March 18th, and I sold this white fringe back bodysuit. This is something that I had photographed as a flat lay before I had my full body dress form, and it just didn't really do it justice, you know? But then I pulled out my dress form and I pulled it out of my inventory, and I was like, I'm gonna re-photograph this. And I did. And it sold within, I would say, a month of re-photographing it for $77.99. I pulled this out of the bins with some other like disco slash ice skating outfits. And the discount on so $77.99 minus $15.60 was my discount. And then I sold this plus size 1970s tie shoulder dress with this like amazing color blocking, and I'm actually surprised that this took so long to sell. I think it's because I paid quite a bit for it, so I had to list it for a little bit higher. It sold for $77.99 minus the $15.60 discount that I offered, and I think I paid like 20 bucks for that. Go to Poshmark and check. Yeah, so I paid $20 for this on Etsy, and then I resold it on Etsy. Let's see, next March 19th I sold this vintage 1930s sailor style hat, $29.99 minus my $6 discount. Then on the 21st I sold this 1960s bridal headpiece. This came with a dress that was in one of my previous What Sold videos. My husband picked it up forever ago at a Goodwill. It was in one of the preservation boxes, and this veil was in there too. I split them up and sold the veil separately. $45.99 minus a $9.20 discount on that. Then I also sold these 1980s vintage tapered leg plaid trousers. Again, I bought these for my Dark Academia collection, and they sold for $45.99 minus the $9.20 discount. 5-star rating on that. And I will say a couple of, like, the pairs of plaid trousers that I picked up, I didn't grab wool unless it was lined, and so this one and the Liz Claiborne ones that sold on Thrilling, they were not wool, and I think that just makes it a little bit easier for some people, especially as we are going into the lighter weather months. I think that if you're going to be picking up the plaid trousers, I'm not saying don't get wool, but maybe also consider the ones that aren't wool but have that look to them. Also on March 21st, I sold this 2T jumpsuit. It was from the 1970s, and I dug this out of the bins, saved it for my little boys, and never put them in it. So that sold for $25.99 minus $5.20 discount. Next was my last sale on Etsy for that period, and that was this pair of vintage Wrangler jeans, size 40 by 32. Those sold for $36.99 minus my $7.40 discount, and obviously the buyer paid shipping on those as well. So I sold quite a few things on Etsy with that sale. You know, while I was away, I think I had like 14 open orders when I got back that I had to pack up and ship out, and yeah, I was really excited that that sort of went so well. Now we will do eBay. It is not very exciting over on eBay in my life still. That that's okay, and it's probably not going to get too much more exciting. So I sold on March 9th, which was the week before we left. The only thing I sold was this copy of this George R. R. Martin book. It's about the Targaryen family. It was my husband's. He read it, wasn't going to read it again, so I popped it up on eBay to move it along. Someone offered $12, and then they paid for media mail shipping. And then while I was gone, I sold this Thor comic book. This was mine. I had gone and purchased this on release day when it was first out there, and I had this listed for $75 auction for a while, or $75 buy it now, I think, for a while, and no takers. So then I dropped it down to $55 and auctioned it, and then someone came in and bid on it, and they got it for $55. Which I was fine with. There are some that go for a whole lot more, but you know, they have like the case and they've been verified by the comic book world. I don't know a lot about comic books, but yes, so this sold, and then I got back, and then I couldn't find it, and I couldn't find it, and I kept looking, and I couldn't find it, and I was like, I probably cleaned this up before I left and put it somewhere, and I don't know where it is. But I want my $55, so I just kept looking for it, and finally the day passed that I was supposed to ship it, and I did finally find it, and I did ship it, but now I have a defect, so that's fun. That's why I said that eBay is probably not going to get much more exciting. I don't think they like that, so. Anyway, that is it for 2 weeks on eBay. Not great. And I have been listing, like, I don't know, maybe I just suck at eBay and I need to watch more videos about how to list on there. I've been using Vendoo, and I feel like when I cross post stuff, it doesn't put in enough attributes, and then when I go to add attributes, I'm just like, I don't know what style this, you know, top is from Stitch Fix. It's just like a floral shirt, and I just get frustrated. So that's probably why stuff isn't selling. Alright, now we're going to move on to Poshmark. I knew this video was going to be long. I hope you're sticking with me. Okay. So the first thing I sold was this Y2K style duster cardigan that I picked up from that huge estate buy that I did. I paid about $10 per clothing piece from that estate buy, just like when you averaged it all out, but I mean, you've got some stuff that's on the lower end, and then I also got Chanel shoes and like a Dior bag, so it kind of evens itself out. But yeah, so I paid about $10 for this item, and it sold for $37, and my earnings were $29.60, so I made somewhere around $20 for that. But the buyer said that the fringe on the end of the scarf was not to her liking, so I got 4 stars on that one. Next up was a 1950s leather powder blue cigarette case, and this got a lot of attention, but it did take some time to sell. It sold for $28. I think I paid like $1 or $2 at a little shop that I love to go to, and so my earnings was $20.90 minus my cost of goods, somewhere around like $18 or $19 for that one. So next up was a repeat buyer of mine. She's amazing. She comes in and buys a bunch of stuff from me. She bundled these 3 tops, and she's just bought so much stuff for me that I really wanted to give her a good deal. So she picked out this Love Moschino Daisy heart print sign like tank top, and it was really cute, 90s sort of style. It wasn't from the 90s, but it had that like look to it, you know. and I had that listed for $78. Next up, she picked out 2 pieces from my Stitch Fix palette, and one of them was this chaser ribbed knit teal tank top, and the other one was a cupcakes and cashmere striped tank top. So 3 tank tops. I paid $5, I think, for the Moschino one, and then about $5.50 for the palette pieces. So I had about $15, $16 into this, and I gave her an offer of $85 and free shipping. And so I was left with $60.55, which I still thought was really great. It was a lot off of my like asking price, but you know, I still made a good amount. And so I made about $45 on that sale, and she was very happy with her pieces. And then when she buys stuff, I usually try and throw in extras because she comes back so often. So I think she got an extra thing or 2 in there. Then I sold this Napier peach coral necklace. I got this in like a giant lot at an estate sale. It was this giant box of like tangled up necklaces, and they were asking $20 for the whole thing, so I bought that, and I had this listed for a really long time. So when someone came in and bought it outright, oh god, something just fell, at $15, I was really happy. So less the Poshmark fee, I made $12 on that, minus my cost of goods, which was probably less than $1. Pretty glad. Then I sold 2 things for very good offers to my childhood best friend's mom, so kind of like the second mom of my childhood. She had like some Poshmark questions, and I ended up just like answering for her. Someone sold a size 14 kids item as a size 14 women's item, and she was like, what do I do? And so I kind of walked her through it a little bit, and then she asked about my closet, and I came in and sent her the link, and she ended up buying these 2 items. And I didn't actually realize it was her at the time, or I would have bundled them for her and sent her a better offer. But it's not that I am not grateful for these sales. So I had this listed at $78 and she offered $75. So I came away with $60, and I think I paid, let's see about that. I know I bought this on ThreadUp, and yeah, I paid $15 for that. So I made about $45 on that one. And then I sold this cloth and stone top to her. I had it listed for, I think, $45, and she came in and offered $40. At the time, I didn't know, like, I was just like, I'm not going to counter those offers or try and, like, mess with bundling them because I don't want to lose the sale, and those are really good offers, so I'm just going to take it. But then I went to ship them once I got home, and I was like, oh, dang it. So, yeah, but it was still really sweet of her. So I got $32 after Poshmark fees, and this one, let's see if I wrote down what I paid for that. $5 at Goodwill. So yeah, made about $30 or $27 on that. Next up, I sold this Pendleton vintage pencil skirt, but the day that I got back and was processing orders to ship, the buyer hit their 7-day mark and decided to cancel, which is too bad because that was a full price sale. So that was canceled. Next up, I sold this vintage brass music note hook. Someone told me it was a treble clef, and it was brass, and I think they came in and bought it outright for $18, and then minus the Poshmark fee, I got $14.40. I actually believe I bought that on Etsy for my husband as a gift, and he never hung it up, so we just decided that I would sell it. So let's see. Next up, I sold these patched Levi's. I was excited to get a pretty reasonable offer on these as well. I think when I relisted them, I changed the price to $98. And the reason for that is that when I got them, they had this big hole in the back, in the butt, and I spent about 6 hours last summer doing like an embroidery basket weave patch on the back to cover up any holes in like sensitive spots. So I had about 6 hours just of time into these jeans, and they were great, like tapered leg style. They were the 512. So someone came in and offered me $75 for those, and I went ahead and accepted that, and she was really happy with them, said it was one of the best purchases she'd ever made on Poshmark, and she appreciated my labor of love. So that was just super rewarding. Next up, I sold this vintage crossbody bag. It was white leather. As you can see, it was from my Halloween collection. I had this listed for, I think, $25, and someone came in and offered me $20. I accepted that, and so I came away with the $16. Let's see if I put in where I got it. I think I might have been at an estate sale, but I don't remember. This picture of me is so cute though. I put in that it was an estate sale, but I did not write how much I paid for it, so probably $2 or less. That's about what I tend to average at estate sales. Next was this Anthropologie Sea Folly skirted bikini bottom. I've had this listed for quite a while. I've gotten some low offers on it. I bought this at Sundance for myself. But it was too low rise for me, and I didn't end up liking it. I got it on super clearance for I think like $8 or something like that, and someone came in and bought it outright. So I had it listed for $45. They bought it for $45. After Poshmark took their cut, I was left with $36, and then again I think I paid about $8 or $9 for it. Next was another outright purchase. This was an item I've had in my closet for so long. It was from the same lot as that Napier necklace. It was just like a single strand, like coral colored beaded necklace, and I had it listed for $10 after multiple markdowns, and someone came in and bought it outright less, and so I got $7 after that. And then someone came in and offered me $50 for these 2 pairs of Anthropologie shorts. These were, well, one of them was mine, and then one of them I had purchased for myself at a thrift store, I believe. But, I mean, both of them are secondhand to me, so I had them listed at $38 and $45 respectively. And they've been listed for a little bit, I believe, since early last spring, and someone came in, they're both the same size, offered $50. And I was like, alright, let's just go for it. So I accepted that, and they left 5-star feedback. We are on March 17th at this point, so we still have a number of days to go. But I sold this Lucky Brand peace symbol charm necklace. Got this in my Goodwill Blue box. Sold it for $14 with an offer from a buyer. Then another offer from a buyer. This was a loft blouse. This was mine. It was a tank top. Very cute, ruffly, had like a bow in the front, and I think I had it listed for $18 or $16, something like that. They offered me $9, and I was like, honestly, it was mine. I got to wear it, and I'm going to make $6 off of it, so I'm just going to accept it. So I did. Next was another thing that was mine, these Primark rust-colored wide leg polka dot trousers. I did really like them, and they had pockets, which was fantastic. They were one size too small. I picked these up at a yard sale last year for, I think $3, I want to say. And so I sold them for $24. It was an offer to likers. And so I gave a $1.50 shipping discount on that one, and I walked away with $17.70 minus my cost of goods. So that was pretty good for a pair of Primark pants that probably didn't even cost $24 to begin with. So next was a ModCloth MAC cardigan. This was a size 3X. I know I bought this on ThredUp. It sold with an offer to liker, $23, $1.50 shipping discount. And let's see if I can tell how much I paid. $5. Oh, it's from Goodwill. I thought I got it on ThredUp, but I guess not. Okay, so I made about $11.90 on that one. And, okay, March 20th. So we've got March 20th and 21st left. I sold a bundle of 2 items. One of them was this Retrolicious bird print fit and flare dress in a size extra large. Bought this on ThredUp for myself. Didn't like how it looked on me, so I listed that one for $78. And then I picked up this black velvet, like, ostrich feather kind of like cardigan duster thingy at Goodwill for, I think, like $4.50, something like that, after my discount. And someone came in and offered me $95 for the 2 items, and I accepted. So my earnings were $76. And let's see how much I paid for this ThredUp dress. It's like $25. $28. So I paid $28 for that dress from ThredUp. I wouldn't necessarily recommend that, but again, I bought it for myself and I just didn't like it on me. So yeah, between that and then the lower cost of goods for the ostrich feather cardigan, I was very happy with that. And this jumpsuit was also mine. I bought this in a bundle on Poshmark, and I sold it for $18 with a shipping discount. So my earnings were $12.90. Don't know if I put in there how much I bought it for, because it was for me. Let's see. I did not. Yeah. But that had pockets too. I was very happy about that. Alright, so also on March 20th was this 1940s, 50s reindeer wool sweater. It is still out for delivery, but it sold for $102 and a shipping discount of $1.50. I think I offered 20% off. So yeah, $80.10 on that one, and I dug this out of the bins, I think. Did I? No. Alright, I wrote down that I put it from the bins, but I have a sneaking suspicion I picked that up at an estate sale. Either way, good flip. Next was a pair of earrings that came in my Goodwill Blue Box. I love the Art Deco look of these, so I decided to list them even though they were just sort of costume earrings. They sold for $11 with a shipping discount of $1.50, and I made $6.55 on those. My Goodwill Blue Box, I don't even know how much I paid per piece. Probably, like, with the number of things that I kept from the last one, I'm going to say probably like 25 to 50 cents per item, so pretty low. Next was a Stitch Fix Lemon Tart Navy Blue Blazer. This came from my palette, and I had multiples. I think I had this in medium and extra small. It sold with an offer to liker for $1.50 shipping discount, and I think that was only like 10% off, so I was happy with that. Oh, after all my cost of goods and the Poshmark fees, I think I made about $23 on that, so pretty good. And I am getting tired of talking. This Old Navy owl sweater sold for $23 with a, I guess there's no shipping discount, so it must have been an offer from a buyer. The buyer left me 5 stars and $18.40. And I'm pretty sure this was just from my closet, and I cleaned it out when I cleaned out my sweaters this year. And next up was these Hush Puppies red strappy little heels. The vintage shoes have not been selling for very much recently, so I don't know, I just feel like shoes in general are not selling for as much recently. I had been selling like a lot of them before the pandemic, and then I swear to you, during the pandemic I sold hardly any shoes at all. So these finally sold. It was $23 and no shipping discount, so $18.40 for me. I paid $2 for those at an estate sale. And we are finally on the last day. So I sold this Market and Spruce cardigan, size 2X for $25. No shipping discount, and so I made around $15 on that one after cost of goods and everything. Then this Anthropologie Peppa Love skirt is really cute, very springy, floral. It did take a really long time to sell. Sold for $28 with a shipping discount of $1.50. So my earnings were $20.90. I don't know how much I paid for that or where I got it because it's been listed for so long. Let's see. It says that I bought it off ThreadUp for $7. So I still made $13 on that and 90 cents. Next up was this Liz Claiborne bracelet. It was like a gold and silver mesh. Anyway, the buyer wasn't too happy. She left me 3 stars and said that there were some spots on it that didn't get shown, which I don't know how there could have been, but I'll just take her word for it. So I made $11.30 off of that. It came from my Goodwill Blue Box. Sold this Chanel perfume box that I picked up at the bins. That sold for $20, so my earnings were $16. I sold this vintage Japanese paper and wood fan for $14 with a shipping discount of $1.50. So I made $9.55. Don't know where I got that, but it was very pretty. Then I sold, oh my gosh, we're done. Okay, that was the last March 21st sale. So that was it. Yeah, so a lot of sales. I had so much shipping to do when I got back, which is great. I was really happy to have like money coming in while I was on vacation. That is completely what I love about this job. I did have one customer on Etsy who wasn't super stoked about having to wait, even though I did update my shipping times and put a little note out there. And then obviously I had that one Poshmark customer send a cancellation. I put little notes in all of the packages that had been purchased earlier in the week to let them know I appreciated them being patient with my shipping time while I was on vacation. Just in case they missed the notification and they're just like, why'd this person take 7 days to ship this bracelet, you know, that sort of thing. So that might have helped, but yeah, so if you go on vacation, I mean, if it's a week or less, I would say just like put your shops on sale and don't take them down or don't go on vacation mode. Unless you really just want to unplug, you don't want to answer any questions, none of that, then, you know, maybe vacation mode would be better. But I did sell quite a few things, and I'm happy to have some space in my inventory again because I have so many new wonderful things, like these lovely Chanel pants that have been on my to-list rack for 7 years maybe. They had this little stain, and so I ended up having to wash them, but it came out and I was so excited. So I'm finally gonna get them listed, and I just have so much good stuff. There goes my phone. Okay, I'm gonna go. It was great doing this again with you guys. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and I will see you next week at 8 a.m. Bye.